Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for clicking a new video of mine. It means a lot that you guys keep clicking. If you guys keep clicking, I'll keep making. And today we have a very different video. Usually these blank has lost their mind videos are for the crazy liberal Twitter people who have no common sense. Today's video is much more of a joke. I feel like Russell agrees with me on most things. Russell has reached out in the past to tell me how much he likes the channel. We've talked about collaborating. He's reached out to my friend, the Bitter Juror, for collaborating as well. So he's definitely a friend of the show for sure. But with that said, Russell has said some pretty crazy shit on Twitter. So today we're going to look at his Twitter, some of the more controversial tweets, and of course his beef with Carolyn from Survivor 44 on Twitter that happened about a week ago. It cuts pretty deep, guys, so stay tuned. If you guys haven't already, like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff because it's free, it's easy, and it really does help the channel out. Russell, if you're watching, love your stuff, keep it up. All right, let's get into the crazy or maybe not so crazy tweets, depending on what it is. All right, so we'll obviously start out really light with just some tweets, give us some background on how Russell's been doing, and then we'll get into the ridiculous Survivor Twitter war that's going on between Russell Hantz and Carolyn from Survivor 44. All right, first tweet, Russell says, I don't consider anyone playing Survivor after 40 part of the quote-unquote Survivor family. That I'm so proud of. Not your fault. Blame Jeff Probst. Let's call them Survivor X. Okay, for this one, I'm going to have to disagree, although I can understand what he's saying, because this new era of Survivor is clearly a different type of game. You can just feel it watching a 39-day season. The bonds are closer, the betrayals feel tougher, there's actually alliances that stay to the end of the game. You feel like the arcs are more complete. I get that. With that being said, the idea that the people who play Survivor didn't play Survivor, the game Survivor, or for some reason shouldn't be accepted into the community of Survivor players, I think is a bit silly. Obviously, players like Danny and Jonathan and Gabler, those are my favorites. I would definitely want them to be accepted as Survivor players, despite the fact that they did play Survivor Light or Survivor Diet, whatever you want to call it. And so I do think it's a bit far to say that they're not part of the family, but I definitely get the point he's making about this new era not really being Survivor. Okay, this next one actually kind of goes the opposite way, where it's much less based. He says, I have a shotgun, mostly for duck hunting. I have a rifle for deer hunting and a handgun for safety on my person, but an AR is too far. And I would disagree personally. Again, I'm gonna give my personal opinion on it. I think that if the second that you make any gun legal, all of them have to be legal because they all have the same goal, which is to enact violence, right? The idea is that everyone should have a gun because there's bad people that will come and hurt good people. And those good people have to be equipped the same way that the bad people do. Of course, there's also the whole government coming after you. You're going to want guns to defend yourself. But in this current age where our government is so powerful, I don't really think that applies much more. It's much more down to a community sense, where if you're a good person and you have a gun, there shouldn't be a problem, and bad people will get guns no matter what. That's, again, just my personal opinion here. With that being said, I don't think what he said is crazy. I mean, I'm sure the majority of people in America probably agree with him. This next one is basically just him equating, obviously, being transgender to violent tendencies, which I think is a little bit dangerous. I don't like the idea of mushing in the whole group. This is very, very similar to people that say, oh, conservatives, they have guns, so now they just go kill people. And it's like, it's not that simple. I don't like the idea of saying, well, all of these shooters were non-binary trans, so now trans people are more inept to violence. Even if it's actually true, I just don't really see the benefit of it, and so I will have to disagree. I will have to call it crazy. All right, now that we know how Russell's been, it leads us to this beef that's going on right now. I'm gonna just start with the video that kind of started it all. It's a video of Carolyn, I believe from TikTok, and Russell had some thoughts on it.
So today, I'm gonna be answering the web's most searched questions about me. So here we go. Is Carolyn on drugs? So no, I'm not on drugs. I've been sober now since May 20th, 2009. I'm not on drugs. Okay, next question. What is wrong with Carolyn on Survivor? Nothing is wrong with me. Next question. Is Carolyn on Survivor autistic? No. You can diagnose me with ADHD because that's what I have. I didn't get my eyeballs eyeliner tattooed. I did not. I actually put on waterproof makeup before I went out, and I wanted it to last a little bit longer, but it only lasted about 5 days. But I did not wear eyeliner, and I did not get it tattooed. No, I did wear eyeliner. It was waterproof, but it didn't last long. Did Carolyn on Survivor hide the wrong idol? What? Like, you all don't question anybody else. Like, I'm done.
You guys know I love Carolyn more than anybody on this season, even just for the pure reason that she is really fun to watch. With that being said, I mean, she's clearly crazy, and that's okay. But Russell calls her out here for being crazy, and she just flips out here. So Russell doesn't even call her out, really. He just says the words, "I disagree," in response. Yes, I know, a horrible crime. Nowadays, you can't disagree without it being, hate speech or violent speech, whatever the hell that means. And so Carolyn snaps back very emotionally. She says, "I'll wipe your tears, Felicia. I like your nephew better anyway." And then she puts a picture of Russell crying in one of the most kind of heartfelt moments in Survivor history, I think, when Russell finally gets voted out and taken out. My reaction is why? Why stoop this low? He said the words, "I disagree," and you decide to stoop as low as a personal attack and bring his family into it. It's just like, why Russell Hantz? This is what Russell does to people. He takes a regular argument and makes it an insult battle. And it's like, why are you trying to do that to Russell Hantz? It's just stupid. It's stupid. She literally could have been like, "That's fine. We can agree to disagree." But she decided to take it here. And so, of course, you all know Russell. He's going to finish it if she starts it. And that's, of course, what Russell did. He claps back with, "Look, the bitch got her feelings hurt. I'm sorry for your soft heart. You will be forgiven as soon as it's over, honey." Smiley face. It's just so Russell. It's so on brand. And you know what? This is why I love Russell. You always have to have the person who's willing to make himself the villain here. I believe that there's a tweet on Russell's Twitter profile. I think it's actually pinned, which is something along the lines of, "There always has to be a villain and I will be the villain." Russell took that right here. I mean, he became the villain here, and I love it because at the end of the day, Carolyn did start this. People say, well, Russell said I disagree, so he started it. No. Carolyn took it to that level first, and she got, really destroyed here. I mean, like, Russell is the best at taking things to a different notch. It's great because I can sit here and make a logical argument against Carolyn about how she's just wrong, but at the end of the day, humans are emotional animals, and of course Russell is going to do this so much more effectively by just calling her a bitch. It's just, I of course took the hard and more complicated route, and Russell took the easy and more straightforward way. Carolyn responds by, well, not really responding at all. She just instead tries to prop up Russell Muscle TV, which is a Survivor YouTuber. He's a friend of mine. I have more opinions and I guess hot takes, and Russell does the more Peridium approach of having much more cold and politically correct takes. And again, this is not a diss. I'm sure Russell will be the first person to tell you that he does this on purpose in order to just kind of stay in the middle and not really take a side ever. And so you can see why Carolyn is supporting Russell Muscle, because he's the exact opposite of Russell Hantz, where one has opinions, the other one does not. And so I think it's silly that she kind of resorted to just self-promoing somebody instead of having an argument back against Russell and his insult. It kind of made it boring. Like, she just kind of gave up and took her L here. So after this, of course, Russell smells blood and just starts to pile on her, talking about how she basically has a crush on him. I mean, it escalates from there, but I think I'll cut it off right here. What do you guys think of this beef? Whose side are you on? Obviously, Russell's crazy, but do you think he's a good crazy or a bad crazy? Let me know down below in the comments. As always, none of this happens without you guys. If you guys haven't already, go subscribe to Russell Hantz's channel. He makes great content over there. And if that's, I'll talk to you guys in the next one.